When I came out into the street to just get some general photographs of the environment and the debris from the previous night's looting, I just heard some screams and some shouting, and I looked down the road and I could see a group of men running towards me. So I ran towards them, and that's when one of the attackers had actually managed to get Emmanuel on the floor, and he began to hit him with a monkey wrench. I just kept getting closer and closer, and at one point I was maybe 4 or 5 meters away. These guys, in my opinion, they looked like hardened street thugs, criminals, just by the intensity of and the way they moved and the expressions on their faces. They wanted one thing, and that was to kill Emmanuel. They wanted his blood, and nothing was going to stop them from doing that. After the attack had finished, there was extreme kind of heaviness about the mood. Emmanuel was kind of just sitting there. I still remember him looking straight in my eyes. He had quite a shocked, sort of a dazed look on his face. And he waited a bit, and then he started walking up the road away. So I started looking around, trying to speak to some bystanders to try and make sense of what had just happened. And then someone shouted to me and said, the guy has just fallen down. So our car that we arrived in was very close to where the attack took place. And then we took him to the hospital whilst, he was sat in the back seat. I kept trying to ask for his name and that sort of thing, but he wasn't really able to speak to me yet. We got him to the hospital, and we got him onto the stretcher, took him in. Then he was wheeled into a theatre, closed the doors, but I could see through the gap that the nurses and the doctor were administering CPR to him, and that carried on for a good 20 or 30 minutes before I think they just eventually had to give up. He still had all his possessions on him. He had his cell phone, and he had about 285 rand in loose notes in his pocket. So for starters, he wasn't robbed. He didn't have any ID on him, but they managed to find a couple of numbers on his phone. They made some phone calls and managed to locate a family member of his who they spoke to, and they confirmed that he is indeed Mozambican Emmanuel SITHOLE. This kind of level of violence it's deeply disturbing to me, and it's shocking, and I'm sickened by it. I'm really disappointed. I'm sickened, and I'm extremely angry. I'm angry with the men that did this, and ultimately I'm really upset that our efforts weren't successful in saving Emmanuel's life.